Jones has got it. Complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a first down.
First and 10 at the 42-yard line.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Kenny Golladay is intended receiver. And it's third down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
Let's go. Hey, switch gears. Check 50, check 50.
They'll give it to Gordon out of the shotgun. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the Cowboys' rushing offense. Their rush defense is pretty good as well, I think, because they're so cohesive. Defensive line, linebackers really work well together.
It's a 45-yard punt, then 8 on the return. And the Cowboys will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. They run with Ezekiel Elliott, last year's NFL rushing leader. And able to find a little space. He gets this up over the 15 to the 16. He was brought down by Devon Kennard.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 16-yard line.
They'll try the right side with Elliott. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
Brings up 3rd down.
There we go. All right, 51. Give me that ball, defense. Give me that ball. Give me that ball.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And he finds Safarian Jenkins. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. 13 yards and a 1st down, Cowboys.
First down, Dallas.
A 1st down carry by Elliott. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the 1st.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. Rashaan Melvin that time able to make the play. Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. And he'll hit the slant route. That's caught by Cooper.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Now back to the ground with Elliott. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. So just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
First down, Cowboys.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Now Prescott. And to the tight end here, Safarian Jenkins. 23 yards, the final tally.
Brandon, unless my eyes deceive me, I think they found a matchup that they're trying to exploit here, don't you? I mean, it's the second time they've gone to him here on this drive.
Yeah, opening drive. It's a tone setter, right? I think they're going to be looking his way a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the way things are going right now, they like him as a featured receiver. Let's see what kind of adjustments the defense is going to make to try and take that away.
And this is caught. It's Cooper. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Amari Cooper, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs. So
he's got him in, complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down.
Lions, first down. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Now a play fake it at Stafford. And he will go down. A Cowboy sack. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
You know, a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. They run it here with Gordon. Tackle made there by Chidobe Awuzie.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
Set! Blue 60! 54! Right, 54!
It's our time. It's our time, guys. It's our time.
Shoot! Shoot!
Kill, 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 kill.
On 3rd down, this is Melvin Gordon. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now.
That's it, baby.
Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. 2nd quarter action now from Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Here's Austin. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs, so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. That one, a gain of 20 and a first down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On first down, it's Elliott. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Strip the ball. Strip that ball.
Now Elliott looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Now Justin Coleman brings him down. I guess that was a little better. He got back to the line of scrimmage there after the loss on first down, but now you're still dealing with a 3rd and long.
So let's put on our offense coordinator hat. They've been very aggressive against the run the last 2 plays. I'm thinking screen right here. Let him come get the quarterback and dump it off. There could be some room to roam.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Coleman. And he is not quite going to make it all the way in. They'll mark him down right about the 1-yard line. Intended that time for Cooper. A great pick, nice return, but you know he's just beating himself up inside for not getting all the way in.
No doubt about it, because he had visions of end zone in his mind. Going to be the total hero. But we did see there the emphasis on it's not just good enough to pick it off anymore. Bring it back, get the yardage, and really help out your offense.
So they're backed up to the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And for a 2nd straight play, that Cowboy defense gets him to the ground behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll make it 3rd and goal. From the gun, here's Stafford. Galladay's got it, and the Lions have a touchdown. Kenny Galladay, his 4th touchdown on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Prater for the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. A tale of 2 extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They had the interception last drive, led to the tying touchdown, so 7-7 the score as they begin 1st and 10. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Hey, let's get there. Check now, check now. Watch the motion.
They'll run with Elliott. And some room to roam now. 22 yards there, a first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. Here's Gallup getting it on the jet sweep. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. on 2nd and 13. Prescott. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Here's Elliott. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the 4th overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he wore down defenses, those exact type of runs.
It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. All knotted up at 7. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. 2nd down and goal. Prescott. It's caught. Cooper. 5 yards that time on the completion. And now it's 3rd and goal. Looking back to Cooper's numbers from last year after that trade, he ended up playing 9 games for the Cowboys in 2018. 725 yards, 6 scores. Also had the 100-yard game in the playoffs against the Rams. And if you add up the numbers between the two teams last year, he was over 1,000 for the 3rd time in 4 NFL seasons. And not only will he not get the few inches he needs, he's going to go backwards. That'll go as a loss of 5. And that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. So on 4th down, on comes the Dallas kicker, Brett Maher. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by Maher is good. Of course, the door for Maher was opened after a little bit of a surprise move. The Cowboys letting go of Dan Bailey last year.
Yeah, Maher took over in the preseason. He's from Nebraska via the Canadian Football League where he kicked for 4 years. And I saw him personally make 2 game-winning field goals last season against Detroit and in Atlanta.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of 6s back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Wrap. Shift. 40 got. 32. Hey, zoom.
To throw again. Stafford. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. DeMarcus Lawrence. What a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
What we got?
A shotgun snap for Stafford. Looking downfield for Jones. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Prescott to throw it. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. That's complete to Cobb. And he gets it just shy of midfield, but that's not enough. He's short of the marker. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. Back deep, Danny Amendola. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Cowboys out on top as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had an ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
To throw again on 2nd down. Prescott. And his throw is incomplete. Randall Cobb, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and short. Easy to tell who they're targeting on this drive. He caught the first 2 passes, but then this time unable to hook up.
But I don't think that stops them from continuing to go back to him, do you?
No.
I mean, they've got a plan. They're trying to execute it.
And after that second catch, I saw him in the huddle. He said, hey, let's go back one more time. Didn't work there. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
And this one is right down Broadway. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now it's seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They trail offense first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Out of the gun, Stafford. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Jeff Heath, the strong safety, able to get in there on the coverage.
When everything is in sync on defense, that means everyone's communicating really well, and sometimes it's nonverbal. They just know that when a receiver's in one spot, this person may have him, and he's in another spot, the next defender may have him. And they've squeezed the passing lanes down to where it's so difficult to find an open area to deliver the football. They've made it tough on them all game long.
And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 19 yards that time for number 19. Now Gordon on first down. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. On 2nd and 11 now. Stafford, he's going to float this over the middle, deep. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, they really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to him.
And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 43.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 43. Now Stafford. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43.
Mike 54. Mike 54. Hey, let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field.
Throwing again. Stafford, he sets to fire deep. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th.
I'm coming after you. Hey, give me a radar. Right there. 54, right there.
They snap it to Stafford. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And he gets this one down to the 24. 4th down, no problem. 19 yards that time. And now it's 1st and 10.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people...
And this is going to be intercepted. It's the Pro Bowler Byron Jones. Amendola, he was the intended target.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. It's Elliott. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. For Zeke, what a first 3 years he's had in the NFL. Last year, his 2nd rushing title, 1,434 yards. Not as many as 1,631 that he had as a rookie, but still his yards per game average was the best in the National Football League. Again, it's Elliott. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Prescott on 1st down. He's got a man complete. It's Amari Cooper. Touchdown, Cowboys! Amari Cooper, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And now Jason Garrett electing for his guys to try for 2.
26.
Check 24.
Hey, kill. 26. 26.
They'll let Elliott try and run it in. And he is not going to get in there. He stops short of the goal line, and the lead is going to stay right where it is. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Looks like he's going to get a couple here on this 1st down carry, and that'll make it 2nd and 8. Jalen Smith, the Notre Dame man, in on the tackle. Here's Gordon. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Back now at Ford Field. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter. On 3rd down, it's Gordon. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the 1st. A strong 8 yards will keep this drive rolling. If you're thinking of a comeback here, you go to 2016. That's when Stafford had an NFL record 8 fourth-quarter comebacks. But Gordon loses the football. It's loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. The 1st down carry here for Johnson. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. After seeing that, maybe time to go back to some downfield throws here.
Yeah, anything. Change it up because the teams that win, the best teams, they're the ones that make adjustments. Doesn't mean you can't come back to what you thought you could get done. Sometimes when you open things up a little bit, you can get back to what you wanted to do before.
Now they go for it on fourth, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. The Lions turned away on fourth down, and the Cowboys defense is going to get them the football back. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Well, there are two scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
2nd and 6 at the 43-yard line.
Quit talking about it and bring it. Kill, kill, kill.
47.
They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So the 14 yards actually takes him from 143 to the other for 1st and 10. Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Well, at this stage, that's exactly what you want offensively. Good run on first down, stay in bounds, keep that clock rolling.
And look at that play chart that the play caller has in his hands right now. That's what you got to focus in on because that's divided up by sections. And right now, he's looking at that 4-minute offense section. What running plays do we have to bleed down the clock and take care of the football? Right now, they're executing really well.
And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 21.
A gain of 16 yards.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Well, I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense, and they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
And it's caught. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Ezekiel Elliott, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. When you talk about a battle being won in the trenches, that touchdown right there, a lot of credit to the offensive linemen.
Yeah, when you watch them surge across the front, they really created great space for the runner to get in.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
The Lions on third down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 3. And he's going to be stopped short of a first down as they'll get to him at about the 33. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
It's 4th down.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Now Austin. Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. A big run that time by Elliott. 43 yards on the ground.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
And they'll indeed take a knee. So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked. It
certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Dallas, they continue to put themselves in position for a first-round bye as they move to 8-2. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to New England to take on the Patriots. Meanwhile, for the Lions, it's a bit of a setback as they drop to 6-4 now. And they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Washington. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Get ready, dog.
This be the green light, go. Tires burn the pavement. People want to know where Mace, Pops, and Dave went. Still here, still in your ear with a style so hot, you'll see where all the sun rays went. Legs, arms, the head, all being moved in a frenzy. The blends be all the right cred, meaning credentials. Best of both worlds when we rockin' over pearls in the instrumental. Are you ready? Set, jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter rock, turn it up, we giving a show. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about, space or out your mind? But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? Gentlemen. When it was time to get it lit, we got it hot like fever. Sick with the talk, pass to your receiver. All about running the spot. And you know we got breath control, so no need to take a breather. Cardio kingpin, subjugate